Welcome, everybody, to the most interesting weekly recap that we have ever done. For
Mhm.
those of you in the Discord know, hey, this is the most least watched video that we do every week.
Not
It may
anymore.
not be, may not be this week. So, all right, you
Mhm.
guys know how we do it. Full transparency. We go
Mhm.
over every week, good or bad, and this is the first really bad one that we've had since we started doing the videos. And I will first just preface that it's like we made the I made the promise, hey, you're gonna get up in front of the camera and do it
Mhm.
like good or bad. And it really has been like a really good experience. And I really like doing it. And I think it's important and I hope everyone gets the most out of it. So all right. It was bad. So we
Mhm.
went 10-15. If we're using the wager talk units, we lost minus 27.92 units for minus 44.3% ROI. Yuck. This is why I do flat betting, Jim.
Mhm.
Flat betting was minus 19 units, and we did a good job, I think, talking about it last week. Like some people love the big highs and the big, up and downs. I just like the flat betting for weeks like this.
Mhm.
Do I cap myself when we have big weeks, winning weeks? Absolutely. I 100% leave money on the table, but I'm okay with that. So it's up to you. If you want to follow the exact percentages from Wager Talk, you're going to have bigger swings like we talked about. If you do flat betting, it's just going to be a lot less of a roller coaster road. So let's talk about where it went wrong. MMA went 2-1 minus 2.76 units. So it was interesting. We lost our big bet, but then we had a good read once we started watching the card. So I put a couple of plays that we had come up with kind of throughout the live show in, and both of those hit.
Mhm.
Which again goes to if you can join the live show, we really highly encourage it. College football 0-1. This was my first kind of bad call of the year. I thought like we had IU over their team total. They get way over halfway there in the first half and then do nothing in the second half. So bad call might be. NFL was a disaster.
Mhm.
Just unmitigated disaster. It seemed like a bloodbath all over the place. All props were terrible. And Jim, what'd you say? It was just a stat vacuum.
That's what I call those days, stat vacuums. You see games with 30 points and nobody has over 40 yards receiving. It was like, how
Yeah,
did you get the 30 points?
yeah,
It was
yeah.
just a lot of the points to show for it. I bet you if you played team totals, you did great. But who just plays team totals? The prop market was an absolute mess. It just from the Germany game to the night game with the Lions, it was an absolute disaster all
Yeah,
around.
yeah. NBA ho hum 1-1. Tennis, Corbin keeps chugging along with
Mhm.
tennis 2-0. Hockey went 1-1, got juiced for -1. Soccer 1-1. Darts 3-4. This is kind of one of those weird things where we have parlay legs to close out other plays that overlap Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. And then we had a cross sport parlay 1-0. So it's just a bad week overall. I had a terrible week in my production company business, just openly as to be open. Like I had stuff outside. It was just a bad juju week. So we always talk about it. So Jim, I'll go to you. We have a bad week like this. Just like what are your initial thoughts?
It sucks. Like, don't anybody think that we're not like it sucks because it sucks. However, half of this game is mental, guys, and you have to be prepared for when you're going to lose. You know, we were going to have a month, a week where it was bound to bite us at some point. Unfortunately, it did when it did. But what are you going to do? Sulk about it? If we have the record that we've had for the entire year, I don't think we change much. And it'd be one thing if we were the only ones that lost money and was just like, we're a bunch of idiots. But it was just one thing after another that was absolutely crazy. UFC, especially, I mean, being one of our flagship sports, we go from a fight not being able to finish for months to right out the gate on that card. There's what, 4 finishes in a row?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's time to pivot a little bit in UFC. And the good thing that I like about that is that we identified the problem live on the show. We pivoted and we limited the damage. We recuperated some units. And I think we have a very clear plan now of where we're going forward to the end of the year. Um, it can't be the sky is falling. When you have a losing day, you have to remember that only 60% of the time you need to be correct.
Yes,
That's it.
it's
Okay, 60%. We're bound to have a bad one. And I woke up, I woke up this morning ready to attack the world.
yeah. I feel
It's
great
just like
today.
refreshed.
I
We had
do.
our time to sulk. It's time to get over it.
Yeah, yeah. So first off, it is a very weird feeling in this business. Like there's not too many other businesses where you just have the highs and the
Mhm.
lows. Like man, when you win, you have a kick-ass week, you just get these messages that are and then it's opposite when you have a losing one. Um so let's go over here. Let's go over just our initial plays here. Uh So 2024, 504 wins, 331 losses, 61%, plus 135 units for 7.0% RR. We were trying to get to 175 units. I don't know if it's gonna be a tenable now, but our goal was 100 units this year.
Mhm.
When we started this was 100 units, so we've moved the goalposts on that. Just to reiterate a little bit more about long term, and then I'll talk about some of my personal feelings. So I went back and looked, Jim. Since January 1st of 2023, you're up 226.1 units. We're coming up on 2 years here
Mhm.
on just incredible long-term success. So, how do I feel? I am I feel terrible for clients. I care very less more about my bankroll. My bankroll's fine. I'm up. I follow the system. I follow the units. I bet everything that we bet.
Mhm.
Um, I don't worry about it, and we can get into that. I am mortified. I get queasy. I can't sleep because of some of them, and then you just like look at the long term record and go, "That's our goal. That is absolutely our goal, and that's what we focus on long term." I know that there are some people mad about certain things, and I will just come out and say it. If you got obliterated by our picks last week, you are betting way too much of your bankroll
Mhm.
on these picks. You just are. And maybe this is a good litmus test for you. I have had some really memorable moments in my betting career, and one of them was when I realized how much that I was betting way too much
Mhm.
on bets. I was like, I should not be this terrified. I should not be this worried. I should not be this upset. And so that told me I don't want to follow. I only want to flat bet the 2%, and that just changed everything for me. I have had many really big changing moments, and I think if you don't have those moments, you're not going to get better as a
Mhm.
better. Jim, you've told the story.
Yeah.
You had an aha moment, and you were freaking smart enough to realize it, and it pivoted, and it changed your world, didn't it?
Yeah. You look, you can't let this stuff consume you. You can't. If all of us didn't have 9 to 5s, what I have, which Andy has, and this was your job and you're sitting in front of a computer all day, yeah, you can dwell on it. Okay. But 90% of us have 9 to 5s. Okay. You can't let it involve your work, can't let it involve your wife, your kids, your mom, your dad, your dog. Okay. You have to stay within your means. And I've said it very publicly and I'll say it again. My marriage was falling apart. Okay. My job was suffering. I had no other, at the time I didn't have the school. By getting this all together, it allowed me to use it as a secondary source of income, but also an investment. And you invest your time in other places. And you hit the nail on the head. The aha moment is I'm not a high roller. I'm betting way too much. And you can't be embarrassed by your unit sizes. I love when people ask, what's your unit size? Well, what does it matter?
It's all
To me,
percentage
it's the
based.
silliest question ever, asking what somebody's unit size is, because all of our unit sizes are different. Andy's different than mine. Mine's different than Corbin. Mine's different than my friends. Mine's different than my wife's unit size. My wife has had a $300 bankroll all year. She'll gladly bet $5. It's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
And she enjoys doing it, and she's been profitable on her side. I'll give her that. So it just, you have to get everything into perspective, and you can't be always like Chicken Little thinking that the sky is falling when you have some losses.
So let's go into the bankroll. So this is this is the one that follows the wager talk percentages. Big chunk. We
Mhm.
lose 27%. So our 44,000 bankroll is down to 32. Good news is we started with 10,000. So we're still up 32,000. And then as you see here, it's a little bit less of a drop when you do the flat betting. So the notion that this was a disaster week, we've had way worse
We've
stretches
had
than
worse.
this is
Everybody's had
like
worse than this.
I'll go back here to let's see.
There you go.
Yeah, right here. October of last year, we
Mhm.
had a 16% losing week, an 18% losing week, a 9% losing week, and a 12% losing week.
Mhm.
Yikes. Our $16,000 or our $16,800 bankroll dropped down to 9,307. That was a rough stretch,
Mhm.
but we stuck with it and we have faith in the long term. And what happened? I mean, our bankroll got down to 8,030. We got up to 16,008. It got down to 8,000, and we just stick with what works, and we keep plugging away. So weeks like this, it doesn't bother me. There's a very, very successful uh sports bettor. You probably follow him on Twitter, and he's told the story, so I'm not telling you anything that he hasn't said. Andrew Goombas, when he first started, he tells a story. He lost on like 16 straight UFC cards, like 16 straight cards.
Mhm.
He turned a loss. Now the guy makes so much money that he's out of the pick selling business because he needs to get his own money down. So, like weeks like this don't necessarily worry me, especially when we've been turning a profit, pretty consistently. So, um, if I could, I mean, it's when it rains, it pours. I'll go back to some of these losses. One of our NFL losses was Zay Flowers to have 40 plus yards. He had 34 yards in a game that had 700 yards
Mhm.
passing. It was so crazy. We got bit by one of the darts. I don't even think you know this, Jim. So Luke Humphreys, number one player in the world, gets
Mhm.
waxed. We lose. They announced today he's eliminated from the tournament. He lost again. He's eliminated from the tournament. They announced today his son's really sick. He said he wasn't excited to be there, and he's looking forward to getting back home. How are we like? That would have been nice to know.
Yep.
There was one of those, and yeah, so there are just some wonky things that happen, and it just seems like when one of them happen, it's the rule of three. It just
Mhm.
comes in threes. So yeah, not too worried about it. Like I said, I think probably 2 years ago, maybe even a year and a half ago, I think I would have been inconsolable because I would have overbet these bets. I would have chased for 100%. I would have chased.
Mhm.
Like no question chased. But when you go on these runs, just if you need to take a day off, just take a day off. If you need to take a week off, take a week off. But I don't. I didn't find that big of a problem with our handicapping. I really didn't. There were a few spots where maybe the handicapping was off, but I didn't see anything to where we got to go. Man, we got to really make a big reset. So I'm not gonna let it bother me. It's Monday, and we've got a few plays tonight. So yeah, that's kind of where my mindset is.
Mhm.
Where's yours?
It's the same. I don't think we really change what we're doing. We have to adapt. Like, I'm not saying that we're going to change, but we're certainly going to adapt what we learned with UFC, looking at NFL um, going forward. I really don't think we do a whole lot else. And you know, let's not forget about the 2-0 with tennis or with soccer. Was it soccer or tennis?
Tennis.
Tennis, right?
Yeah,
So there are some bright spots here. Okay, there's always got to be some kind of bright spots, unless you really go over.
yeah,
You learn something every time. So as far as this week goes, and here's the most important thing: you can't, we can't have a losing week and then just say, well, we're not going to do plays this week. We're losing week. That's waving the white flag and calling it quits. You could be smarter about it. Maybe we have a little less. We'll see. Maybe we have a different percentage. We'll see. We'll look and see what we're going to do. But you have to pull yourself up by your bootstraps and get right back to the grind.
yeah,
This is a 12-month grind, and we're right back to the grind again. I mean, we were looking at plays Sunday night. So, yes, we're upset. Yes, we bet our own money on it. Yes, we lost as much, if not more, than everyone else. But we'll get it back. We'll get it back
yeah.
smartly.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. We'll just keep doing what we do, and
Mhm.
it's it's a pendulum that just swings back and forth, back and forth. Our goal is to be up long term, and that's what this whole winning in the shadows thing is. This isn't 1 week, 2 weeks. It's year long. So
Mhm.
I do want to appreciate everyone that has reached out to us and has left comments saying, "Don't worry about it. It's 1 week, and your guys' long term is good." Um, and yeah, that is it is fine. So I do appreciate you. To those that have complained in the Discord, just send me a DM if you've got we'll say questions
Mhm.
or concerns. I'll address those. The blow off steam room, we didn't want to be a big argument. It's to go in there, express frustration with a play or something, and then uh, that leave it as that. Like
Mhm.
what happens in the the blow off steam room should stay in the blow off steam room. I will address that to
Mhm.
people. So um, but yeah, to those of you complaining, listen, you have every right to complain. It's a free country.
Mhm.
You can you can absolutely voice those frustrations. Just try and keep it a little bit civil. So
And
and
the real, really, all of us. Let's move on, right?
of
Let's move
course,
on to this week. It's going to be a good week. We talked this morning. It's going to be a good week. I can feel
it's gonna be a great week. Like
it.
honestly, I had something I had to do this morning. I was dreading it and it went over, and it couldn't have been better. Couldn't have been better. So like always, we will always do recapping, and I would just say there was a mention about well, maybe I'll go somewhere else. Make sure you ask your handicapper to do a monthly recap
Mhm.
and a weekly recap every Monday. Have them show you their record, have them show you their long-term record, their ROI, have them do all of that. That like because that's what every handicapper does, right, Jim?
That's what we do.
That's what we do. So full transparency, it goes with the territory. So I don't think I have anything else, man. Let's just start
No, man.
cashing these
Listen,
tickets.
positive vibes. Let's hit this week running. Um, I'm excited for this week. We got a lot of opportunities this week to get back on track, and we're gonna.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, guys. Hit the like and subscribe button for more winning plays. Hit the like and subscribe. I know
Mhm.
that's an odd one. So if you want to leave a comment in this video, that's fine. If you have another concern about our picks or anything, just send me a DM. My DM
Mhm.
and emails are always open, and we can discuss anything. So, all right. Have a good night. We'll see you guys later.
Take care, guys.